Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another video here on the channel, and I appreciate all of you being here today because we have a lot to talk about in regards to probably what is one of the biggest sporting and entertainment events of the year, WrestleMania 39? Fuck. It's been a long time since I started watching wrestling. Holy shit. I started watching at WrestleMania 26. And hard to believe it's been all these years later. Fuck, I'm old. But we got a lot to talk about. The whole point of today's video is I'm going to be breaking down some of these matches, kind of making my picks as to who I think should win the match. I used to do this on Twitter years and years ago, where every pay-per-view I would pick my winners and I would kind of determine my wins and losses, quote unquote, in my bio, which looking back on it, it's kind of fucking lame, but it was still pretty cool for the couple of months I was doing it. I had a pretty good record too. I've seldomly lost. But I gotta be honest, man, I'm really looking forward to this year's WrestleMania. There's a couple of matches I don't quite necessarily care for, but I have a good feeling that both nights of WrestleMania are going to be a lot of fun. And just saying that kind of makes me sick to my stomach. Both nights of WrestleMania. I really hope that they stop doing that. I really do. I can't sit here and watch 8 hours worth of a fucking 2-night worth of event. If I miss both of them for some strange reason, which night one I'll be missing anyway because of the Final Four, regardless. So I have to now catch up on that and NXT because I have work during NXT. And I have to basically watch like 8 or 9 hours, 10 hours worth of wrestling in a span of a day or so, which is going to be fucking insane. But still, really sick of this 2 hours of WrestleMania garbage. I really hope next year they bring it down to one show and not have 15 matches on it that makes the show go to midnight, but that's neither here nor there. That's a different story for a different time. Let's break down what I got here for these matches. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I wanted to do this video in a way where it's like, oh, I'll do one video for night one, and then I'll do another video for night two, and so on and so forth, but to be honest, Wikipedia is not doing me any favors here. Like, there's a bunch of matches that are possibly confirmed for night one, and then there's a bunch of matches that aren't even on confirmed yet for night two, and it's a whole fucking mess. So I'm just gonna make this one video, even though it's gonna be long as shit, and I'm just gonna save myself the time of trying to edit 2 fucking videos. It's a lot. So I'm just gonna do one video, briefly go over which match is gonna win, or who's gonna win each match, I should say. And that's going to be that. Austin Theory versus John Cena. Now, if you know me on this channel through my constant conversations from EBCW, you'll know that I don't like John Cena. And Austin Theory, I don't necessarily care for him all that much either as a character, but I know he's really good in the ring. I think this is the match that's going to kind of make him a star and make him what John Cena said in that one promo he wasn't. Like, this match is going to make him be what John Cena said he should be in that promo, I think, in my honest opinion. But I don't necessarily see Austin Theory winning and beating John Cena, because we all know John Cena is like at one time, one of the biggest, quote-unquote, final bosses and you know, Super Cena was a thing, so he was like the biggest final boss, quote unquote, for a while in WWE. But I also don't see John Cena staying for a long time in the WWE. I think this is probably his last or second to last match. I'm going to go with Theory here just because I don't see John really doing much more with wrestling after this. I mean, what's he going to do? Take the title and not show up on Raw, or is he just going to relinquish it on the Monday after WrestleMania? I don't know. So, because I would rather have the safer option, I'm going to go with Theory. Because there's a lot of uncertainty there with what John Cena is going to do with the U.S. title. And who he would relinquish it to or lose it to the next night. So that's my opinion on that. Seth Rollins, or Seth freaking Rollins, versus Logan Paul. God, I hate when they have to fucking include the freaking on every time they say that guy's name. But still, Seth Rollins. I'm a big Seth Rollins guy. Logan Paul is phenomenal as a wrestler. I don't like the guy, but Logan Paul does have great matches. He's proven that he can go. He's probably one of the best celebrity guests that they've had wrestle, next to Pat McAfee and Bad Bunny. Sorry if I sound fucking nasally, by the way. I still have a cold. But I don't see him necessarily losing to Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins has kind of had a lot of losses in WrestleMania in recent years. I mean, WrestleMania 36, he lost to Kevin Owens, I think. WrestleMania 37, he lost to Cesaro. WrestleMania 38, he lost to Cody. I mean, I don't know if Seth Rollins can really take another loss at WrestleMania, to be honest with you, especially to guys like Logan Paul. So I'm going to go with Seth Rollins on this one. The team of Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch, who are also the women's tag team champions, being Lita and Becky Lynch, who, in my quite honest opinion, is one of the most worthless titles in WWE right now. I know a bunch of the women's wrestling fans are going to come after me for that, but quite frankly, I think the women's championships is probably one of the worst fucking booked and worst titles on the show, because there's not a division that makes it mean anything, to be honest with you, other than a team like Damage Control, which is kind of a solid team with Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io. And I don't know who's going to win this. I quite frankly don't give a shit about this match, because it's just kind of there. Like, I get it. Becky Lynch is still feuding with Damage Control for some strange reason. And to bring Lita and Trish Stratus on is kind of cool, because, you know, seeing Trish and Lita back at it, even though they're a little bit slower in the ring now, because they've been out of the loop for so long in terms of getting up to ring shape. I don't know. I think they could probably put on a good match. Do I care about the match? Not really. But, and this is going to be a little controversial, I might go with Damage Control on this, because they have been booking Damage Control as this big heel staple in the women's division, which they don't really have any staples other than them. You know, there's Chelsea Green and Carmella, even though I think Carmella's hurt or something, that they're trying to be this tag team, which I think could work. But there's not really a stable, and I think Damage Control should take the win, because fuck the people. Why should they go home happy with a Trish and Lita and Becky Lynch win? Fuck them. I don't know. I'm just saying shit at this point, but I do think Damage Control should probably win this match in some way, shape, or form. I think the match will probably be pretty decent. Yeah, Damage Control is my pick. Here's another match I don't give a shit about. Brock Lesnar versus Omos. Now, to be honest with you, do I think Brock Lesnar did himself a favor by not working with Bray Wyatt? Probably, because as much as I like Bray Wyatt, this whole storyline and the match he's had with LA Knight, that wasn't necessarily favorably received, and to be honest with you, Bray has been kind of boring the fuck out of me since he's come back, and Brock Lesnar probably knows this, and he chose Omos because, fuck, they're still trying to make Omos a thing. I mean, to be honest with you, Omos lost his luster for me last year when Bobby Lashley beat him, because now you've shown me that he's more or less beatable. So, do I think Brock's gonna win? Not necessarily, because they still need to make Omos a star for some reason, and we don't know if Brock Lesnar is gonna be in WWE anymore, so Omos is probably gonna take this win. And I hope that this is the beginning of MVP kind of trying to create a new Hurt Business stable. Because think about it. He's talked with Bobby Lashley. He talked with Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. And they have won matches, I think. Whether it's on Main Event or on Raw. And if Omos is in there, it might be a pretty powerful stable if you ask me. I really do think they should put back together Hurt Business, because that was a crime for them to fucking take it away in the first place. But that's just me. Bianca Belair and Asuka. The build has been kinda trash, but the match is gonna fucking slap. That's all I have to say. Do I think Bianca's gonna win? Absolutely not. And this is not a knock on her. I like Bianca. I really do. I think she's probably one of the best female stars that WWE has had. Probably next to Charlotte, to be quite honest with you. And I know the Charlotte part's a little bit debatable for some people. Some people say Sasha Banks, things of that nature, and I'm not necessarily going to disagree with you. But as far as who's in the company right now, Bianca Belair is the woman. She's the man of the women's division. Let's put it like that. I know I just kind of took away Becky Lynch's old catchphrase there, but she is. She's held the title for a year, and while she hasn't necessarily had captivating storylines for the most part, she's had fantastic matches, and this should be no different. So I think that Asuka is going to win because they kind of repackage Asuka a little bit, and I think Asuka needs a win more than Bianca Belair. And who knows, maybe Bianca Belair can move on to do something else in the women's division because she's kind of been on top for a whole year. And I'm sure there's other things that they can do for her after the fact. And I'm sure they could probably drag out this whole story for a couple of months anyway, with multiple matches with her and Asuka. I just think Asuka should win because if they want to book Asuka as this kind of killer with this face paint and this weird mist that's always gooping out of her mouth after the fact, pull the trigger. That's what I say. Speaking of Charlotte earlier, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Now, as we all know, Rhea has won the Women's Royal Rumble in what was an epic effort by her, quite frankly. And I'm a little bit disappointed that she chose Charlotte over Bianca because I think there's a story there that wasn't necessarily told because she had a heart issue, being Rhea Ripley, and we kind of got robbed of that match, and I thought that match was going to be kind of fire. But she chose Charlotte because, well, they have history going back to WrestleMania 36. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I'm a little bit upset by the choice. However, Rhea Ripley wins. That's all I have to say. Do I think this match should be the main event of WrestleMania Night 1? Debatable, but to be honest with you, I feel like if you want to make Rhea Ripley important, it probably should be the main event because this woman's probably going to be carrying the SmackDown part of the women's division for a long, long time, or at least for the foreseeable year like Bianca Belair has. And that's my pick on that. Now we're moving on to what presumably could be Night 2 or could be added to Night 1, and this is just a bunch of other matches that are there. Gunther, it's Walter, versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. Banger, to quote Sheamus. Absolute banger. This match is going to fuck to the 10th degree, and Gunther is going to lose the Intercontinental Championship, which in my opinion is now the second most important title next to the WWE Universal title combination, and Sheamus is going to get the fucking W. They just added Drew McIntyre in there because it just makes the match that much more dynamic, because all of these men are going to hit each other really fucking hard. As Big E once said, big meaty men slapping meat, and that is what I'm here for. Pause. Now this match I might be looking forward to more than any match on the card, other than the main event in Roman and Cody, and that's Edge versus Balor. And we're not just talking about any Balor, we're talking the Demon Finn Balor, and I'm really curious to know what the Demon is going to look like with the whole Judgment Day shtick. Normally I would be logical in this scenario, but I'm not going to be. Fuck Finn Balor, go Edge. You knew this was coming. You knew this was coming. It's in the fucking name, ladies and gentlemen. It's Edge 0626 for a reason, and Edge is the reason I have the fucking name. So, Edge is my pick. Don't care what anybody says. Match is going to bang. It's Hell in a Cell. What do you expect? Now, these next two matches are kind of pointless for me. This is kind of an example of if they can't have a battle royal, they're just going to throw a bunch of people in a tag team and have it on WrestleMania for some reason. This is an example of everybody has to get on the show, which is why I don't like the whole 2 nights of WrestleMania. And this is why I didn't like the whole 5.5 hours worth of WrestleMania before that. But yeah, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler versus Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. I would have originally had said Chelsea Green if Carmella was with her, but Carmella is hurt and that's a shame, so I would have chosen them. However, of the 4 teams you are currently hearing, Ronda and Shayna have to win. And if you ask me, after they win, they beat Becky and Lita for the women's tag team championships. And maybe, just maybe, finally make those titles actually mean something. We're asking for a lot in that scenario, as you can imagine. Next up, the same kind of deal with the men. Braun Strowman and Ricochet, which don't know why these two are still a tag team, versus the Street Profits, versus Alpha Academy, versus the Viking Raiders. I didn't watch the match yet that they had on Raw, and I'm not going to lie to you, I heard it was good. And as I look at these 4 teams, I kind of just think to myself that outside of a few other teams that are not involved in this match, these are really the only top contenders for the tag team championships right now. And if you want my honest opinion, the winners of this match should be the Viking Raiders, because I'm kind of sick of the whole Viking Raiders come with this new badass gimmick. They beat the shit out of everybody for several weeks, and then they lose in a big match, or they win in a feud-defining match, which I think was that Viking ship thing that they did with New Day, and then they didn't do anything with them after that. And then they had them feud with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, and I'm not really sure if that got finished or not. I think the Viking Raiders lost that feud. I don't quite frankly remember, because it kind of was just the same deal. Beat the shit out of 2 top guys or 2 big guys in the tag team division, and that was that. The Viking Raiders need this win because they need to solidify that they're actually a threat to the tag team division. The Street Profits have been losing a lot. Braun Strowman and Ricochet are kind of just a team for the sake of being a team. And Alpha Academy is just kind of there to be the fall guys, more or less. Even though I really like Alpha Academy, and I think they should probably have one more tag team run, but that's just my opinion. But they're probably going to be the fall guys in this match. Viking Raiders need to win. That's my pick. Hooray, more tag team talk. The Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This has probably been, outside of Roman Reigns and Cody, and maybe Edge and Balor, and Rey and Dominic, one of the best storylines going into WrestleMania weekend. That's just a fact. From everything that led up to the 9 or so months before Royal Rumble to everything that has happened since Royal Rumble has all led to this fucking moment. And if you ask my honest opinion, and I'm sure anybody would agree with me in this, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn take the win because they need to start showing cracks in the bloodline. The bloodline's been very strong for a very long time, but all good things must come to an end. WrestleMania is the end of the bloodline, and that kind of goes into the next few matches that I will talk about, or one of the matches that will happen in a few minutes here. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio. Man, that has been something to watch. The little vignettes on social media have been hilarious with, Dominic coming with Mommy, aka Rhea. I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of different things about Rey, that this could be his last match. He's going into the Hall of Fame the night before, or the night or two before this match takes place. And who knows what storyline is going to come out of that. But to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I think Dominic should win. I want to see Rey get his comeuppance in some capacity, but I think if Rey's time's coming to an end after this year's WrestleMania, put over Dominic. Make Dominic the guy. He's already one of the most hated people in the company. Half the time he can't get a promo for shit. But let's be honest with you. When he even tries to open his mouth, the people fucking hate his guts. So that says something. The fact that the guy can barely cut a promo, and every time he tries to speak, the fucking people are booing him out of the fucking building, to the point where Judgment Day had to cut his promos for him for the first couple of weeks of him joining the stable. So, Dominic is my pick, begrudgingly. because I low-key want Ray to beat his son's ass so bad. Whew. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Once again, a Royal Rumble winner in Cody Rhodes, which, to be honest with you, was probably the most predictable Rumble winner of all time. Let's be fair. I love Cody, but man, Ray really didn't make it a surprise at all that he was coming out at number 30 and winning the whole goddamn thing, because to me that was just poorly executed, but neither here nor there. Do I think Cody should beat Roman at Mania? Part of me says yes. Part of me says yes. The other part of me says Roman Reigns should win and have the feud go into SummerSlam, because I heard that he's going to be taking some significant time off. Odds are he might be in Backlash for the Puerto Rico show. And then he's probably going to miss Money in the Bank. And then after Money in the Bank is going to be SummerSlam. I think, if you want my personal opinion, it would be a bad idea to have the Bloodline lose all of the titles at Mania. And I can't believe I'm going to say this because I kind of really don't want it to happen. The fan in me wants Cody to get the win, but I kind of want people to chant "fuck you, Roman" at the end of the match when he beats Cody Rhodes, because everybody wants Cody to beat Roman so bad. So I think if you really want to play long-term storytelling, have the match go into SummerSlam. Prolong that bitch. Make the people wait. Plus, I think at that time, Roman would have already went past 1,000 days as champion. Let him hit the 1K. Let Roman hit the 1K. It'll make it that much more important in the long run, if you want my honest opinion. Roman Reigns is my pick to be the winner at the end of WrestleMania Night 2. Words I never thought I would say out loud. And that's that. Those are my picks for WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. Wherever these matches end up on the card is yet to be seen. We know some of them that are confirmed for Night 1 and Night 2, but the other ones are kind of jumbled up, like those tag team matches that I don't think really mean anything, because if there's no actual caveat as to why they're fighting in the first place, there's not really a point in them being there. But again, that's just me trying to understand the logic of WWE, and I stopped trying to figure that out forever ago. That's that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, who you think is going to win some of these matches. I would like to see the comparisons and differentiations of each of your lists. So follow me at all the social media links you see down in the description below in the link tree, and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more. And with that being said, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and enjoy WrestleMania weekend.